like acting?
To be or not to be, that is the real question.
Do you know who wrote this?
Yeah, I found it in a book in my bookshelf. It's Diary of a Wimpy Kid.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
It's William Shakespeare. You need to learn a lot about acting, and it's the perfect timing because you can learn a lot more if you stay with TVKIDS because the Jewish Theatre is in town.
Stay tuned with TVKIDS, presented by Congregation Etz Chaim and supported by Jewish Foundation of Manitoba.
I'm Erica.
I'm Max. To be or not to be, that's the real question. Stay with us.
John, you said today is April 14th?
It is.
Yeah, you know that puts us at Passover?
Imagine that. Couldn't come at a better time.
It comes every year at this time.
You know what I'm talking about.
I think what he's talking
I
about...
know what he means.
Well, the fact that here we are this year, where we are this year, in the middle of all we are this year, and Pesach happening at the same time.
Why is this year different from all other years?
It's a miracle is what it is. Yeah, I noticed, Caleb, you weren't praying with us when we were saying the blessing.
So?
Well, you forget your Hebrew?
No.
So what then? Caleb?
Just not big on praying these days, Simon.
Since when?
Since Petersburg.
Why?
It's not important.
Well, I'd like to know.
I said it's not important.
Yeah, but I'd still like to know.
Because I was at Petersburg, and he most decidedly was not.
God is not a fond of fair weather friends, Caleb.
I don't need a sermon, Simon.
Sermon Simon.
No, you don't. You ain't gonna get one. Well, not from me, at least.
Thank you.
But when your mama finds out you gave up praying...
This is starting to sound an awful lot like a sermon to me.
It's a simple Simon sermon.
Here comes Ari Weinberg and his friends. Woohoo!
Nice to meet you, Arya, and your friends.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Nice to meet you.
Cool. So that's Jesse and Christopher and Ray.
I like your guys' names.
Nice.
Can you please tell us, Ari, when was the Winnipeg Jewish Theatre established and who was the founder of the theatre?
Okay, so Winnipeg Jewish Theatre was founded in 1987. So actually coming up this year, in September, we're going to be celebrating our 30th anniversary. And it was founded by two people, a man named David Cohen and a woman named Bev Arnovich.
How many people work in the theater now?
Well, I'm the only full-time employee, so I run everything. I pick the plays, I pick the people who direct the plays, or if I'm directing the play, then I pick the actors and all the people who design the sets. And then I have an assistant producer named Tatiana, who's in the office with me 3 days a week. But then throughout the course of the year, we'll hire probably about 50 people who do different jobs for us, from acting to building props to making sets, all that kind of stuff.
So what is unique about the Jewish theatre that other theatres don't have?
Oh, that's interesting. So Winnipeg Jewish Theatre is one of only two theatres in Canada that have the word Jewish in the title. There's us, and then in Toronto there's the Harold Green Jewish Theatre. So we pride ourselves on, particularly in Winnipeg, being the only theatre that programs plays that has a focus on doing shows with Jewish content.
Do you speak any other languages than English on stage?
Sometimes in plays we'll have a little bit of Hebrew. In The Whipping Man, the play that we're currently rehearsing, there's a little bit of Hebrew. Ray had to learn some Hebrew for the show. And in one of the plays that we did last year, there was some Hebrew and a little bit of Yiddish. So depending on the play, sometimes there will be other languages involved.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah.
So what countries have you guys ever been with your theatre?
Well, Winnipeg Jewish Theatre has actually toured a show many years ago. They toured a show to Israel. But as an actor, when I was working as an actor, I used to work a lot in the States. I toured a show there. Have you guys worked in any other countries other than in Canada?
I have.
Yeah.
I very many years ago when I first graduated theater school, I went and did a show in a festival in the Czech Republic.
Oh, cool.
And I once shot a TV commercial in South America, in Chile.
Neat.
Yeah, and I've also worked all across Canada. So because our country is so big, I've worked in Alberta, I've now worked in Manitoba, I've worked in Montreal, and I've also worked a whole bunch of places around Ontario.
What's your favorite play?
Ooh, that's a good question. My favorite play, we're actually doing it next year at Winnipeg Jewish Theatre. It's a musical called Falsettos. What about you guys? What's your favorite play?
Ooh, I'd have to say Merchant of Venice by William Shakespeare.
Cool. Christopher?
I'd have to say Julius Caesar by
Oh,
Shakespeare. Yeah.
Wow.
I think that probably one of the biggest plays that inspired me the most when I was very young, when I first read it, and I didn't see it live, but I saw the television adaptation, was the play, or it's actually two plays, called Angels in America by Tony Kushner.
Cool. Which Winnipeg Jewish Theatre has done?
Wow, lots of Shakespeare's.
I know lots of Shakespeare. Yeah.
Shakespeare was a
He's-
really good writer.
He was a really good writer.
Do you have any plays that kids can watch?
Not yet. So, I mean, the Whipping Man that we're doing right now, sadly, is not the most appropriate for young people. But it's my goal that in the next couple of years, we're going to try and do something to make sure that there's a show on stage for young people to come and see.
So right now it's only adults and teenagers that can watch them?
Yeah, at the moment. But the goal is, I want to get you guys, because you're our future audience.
Yeah, future audience. Do you have any kids who participate in your plays?
So not so far. However, it's funny that you ask, because next year, when we do Falsettos, we need a person, we need a young guy between the ages of 11 and 13 who will be able to be in the show. So Max, when we have auditions, I might expect to see you out there.
Okay. I will come, don't worry.
Awesome. I look forward to it.
What play do you present now?
Oh, so we're rehearsing The Whipping Man. Ray, do you maybe want to talk a little bit about it?
Sure. The Whipping Man is a play that happens at the end of the Civil War. Specifically, it happens over 3 days, April 13th, 14th, and 15th. And the play kind of shows the similarities between the Jewish exodus from Egypt and how slavery ended at the end of the Civil War. And it happened pretty much on the same days. So we look at this house where the son comes back home and a couple of the slaves come back home and they get together and they celebrate Passover. And like I said, they look at the exodus of slavery and how slavery ended in the States.
Where can we see the play?
So the play, we're running from May 4th to the 14th at the Burney Theatre, which is at the Asper Jewish Community Campus at 123 Doncaster Street.
So me and Erica love acting.
Oh, yeah.
What advice could you guys give to us, or kids like us, who would dream about becoming an actor when they grow up?
Jesse, you want to field that one first?
Yeah, sure. I mean, if you love something, the best thing you can do is to be involved with it as much as possible. So doing shows either at school or extracurricular shows outside of school, like in your community, if there are any, classes you can take or productions you can be involved with. It's, always wonderful to be involved with something that you enjoy doing. And if it leads to a career, that's great. And if it doesn't, it can just lead to something that you do in your life that you love and gives you great fulfillment. So that's really great. And if you love theater, go see theater as well as being involved. Going to see shows is just such a vital part of being like a well-rounded artist.
For sure. I mean, Prairie Theatre Exchange and Manitoba Theatre for Young People have really great classes for theatre for young people in this city. So I would say start there. And then we all trained in theatre. We all went to, after we graduated high school, we all went to different theatre schools. Jesse and Christopher are from Toronto. I'm originally from Toronto. I trained in musical theatre. They trained in acting. I know Eric has done my musical theatre camp that happens at the Rady JCC in the summer, so there's lots of opportunities. So the best thing is, if you like it, just go out there and find ways to start to do it.
Thanks for the advice.
No problem.
We really learned a whole lot today.
Yeah. In your future, do you want to be like actors, or do you want it to be something else?
That's a really good question. So when I was a kid, I wanted to be an actor, and then when I was in grade 8, when I was 13 years old, I went on a field trip to the Stratford Festival, which is the largest theater company in North America. My school went on a field trip there, and my booby came with me as a chaperone, and I fell in love with it. And I saw on the program it said Richard Monette, Artistic Director, and I asked my teacher what that job was, and she said it's the person who runs the theater. And when I was 13, I said that's what I'm going to do one day. I'm going to run a theater company, and that's what I'm doing now. But what about you guys? Did you want to be actors when you were kids?
No. I was very much into sports when I was a little kid, and not till I went to university did I decide to take a theater class, and I got into a show and I was in front of an audience and I was like, this is the best thing ever. And then I started to look into how I can do acting, and that's kind of how I fell on it.
I went through a lot of different phases. There was a point at which I wanted to be a doctor, and then I wanted to be a chef, and I wanted to be a singer. And then it fell on acting, and I think that was always the choice. But then it was like, I was like.
And now he can play a doctor, he can play a chef, he can play a singer.
Exactly.
All of his wishes at once.
Yep, that's one of the great things about acting is you
wishes
get
at
to do what
once.
you, it's a good
Right,
career for
Erica?
that.
It's like if you want to be a chef, like you can just like play as a chef in a theater. If you want to be like a police, you can play as a police in a theater.
Yeah.
Like all dreams at once in acting.
You're under arrest.
What about you, Jesse? Did you want to be an actor when you were a kid?
There was a time when I really wanted to be an actor, and then I kind of switched directions for a large number of years, and I looked like I was maybe going to go into something along the lines of maybe writing or journalism or something involved with media. And then in my early 20s, I kind of decided that acting, which I was doing a lot on the side, was what I wanted to switch to being my main focus.
Cool. Any other questions for us?
No.
No?
Well, we could think of some, right?
Yeah, we can think of some.
Cool. I have a question for you.
Ooh.
I know. What? What's happening? Is he allowed to ask questions? Cool. So, do you guys like going to see plays? Do you guys like acting?
Yes.
Yeah?
Actually, I acted in The Wizard of Oz at my
Nice.
school.
Cool.
So, yeah, I also like acting. Also, I performed in the Jewish Theatre
Oh, yeah?
with, like, the school, my
Oh,
school.
Right.
And also, yeah, I've been to camping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's all I know about acting.
Cool.
And I always like speaking in front of a crowd, in front of cameras, talking to people.
I can tell you're very good at that.
Yeah.
Both of you are very good at it.
I've acted in a lot of plays at my school, being the main character and stuff. So
That's where it starts. Yeah. Great.
and I try to participate as much as I can.
Cool.
Right on.
Participation is what it's all about. So there you go. Awesome.
Thank you so much for coming. It was really, really, really interesting.
We learned a lot about the Jewish Theatre.
Thank
Hope you
you
come back next time.
For sure.
Yeah,
Thank you.
and I'll come to audition.
Yes, awesome. I look forward to that, Max. Thank you, guys.
Enjoy TV Kids and follow us on Facebook.
Oh, I will. For sure.
It's TV Kids, all capitals. If you guys really want to see other shows, in May I think you'll see one of our interviews. It's really interesting.
Right
Yeah.
on. Hashtag social media.
And you can also subscribe us on YouTube at TV Kids, all capitals also.
Cool.
Just hands. We will totally visit the Jewish Theatre, right, Erica?
Of course.
Stay tuned with TV Kids, presented by Congregation Etz Chaim and supported by Jewish Foundation of Manitoba. Stay with us.
Have a nice day.
Hey, that's my line.